On the night of August 13, 2016, four friends in a boat out to watch a meteor shower would be confronted by something out of this world. Four friends living in Johns Island, South Carolina, became excited when they read online that there was going to be a meteor shower later that evening. They decided they wanted to watch the event from the lake as they felt they would get the best view. So at around 2:30 a.m., they went out onto the lake with their paddle boards. As they looked skyward, waiting for the shower, it wasn't long before a light back near the shoreline got their attention. We were enjoying ourselves when we noticed what appeared to be a bright flashlight heading in our direction. We all wondered who it was or what it was that was approaching. I thought it was the landowner walking out to tell us to turn our music down. The witness and his friends watched as the light approached to about 20 yards or so away. It was then that it did something strange. The light seemed to multiply or expand into the brightest, most piercing whitish blue light. The last thing I remember is having my hair raise on the back of my neck and trying to scream, and then the light engulfed us. Next thing I knew, I was standing on the beach near where we had put our boards in the water. Everything around me was distorted even though I was on the beach. I was on the same beach I had always been on. I thought for a second that I was dead. Then, one after another, my girlfriend and two friends appeared on shore, but everything still wasn't quite right. The only way I can describe what I was seeing was distortion. It was like whoever took us was trying to dial our frequencies back into our dimension or something. The witness acknowledges that the encounter sounds completely bizarre. It's really hard to describe what I was seeing without sounding like a lunatic. Just when I was sure I was dead, because there was no way that I was seeing what was actually happening, the distortion faded. Everything around us just settled down, like they had found the right frequency setting for our reality. We all got together, grouped, hugged, and cried for several minutes. The witness noted that the paddle boards were still floating out in the lake, and their swimsuits were only slightly damp, almost dry, which indicated to the witness that they had been out of the water long enough to go from soaking wet to almost completely dry. The witness could not recall the amount of time they were out on the lake, either because he couldn't remember it or he never checked. We just remember coming back to consciousness on shore, all pretty much at the same time. Though some of us have more interesting recall of what happened, we all shared the same experience. The witness is convinced that he and his friends were taken off the lake by something and brought back later. The witness is just thankful that they are still alive. Did a woman encounter an alien being while shopping at a mall in Pennsylvania? In June 2008, a woman was out with her family shopping at the Century 3rd Mall near West Mifflin in Pennsylvania. It was evening. The witness, a woman named Barbara, wanted to get some shopping in before the show. Her husband wasn't interested in shopping anymore, so he decided to wait on a bench while Barbara went into a department store. Barbara recalled seeing a mother rush past her out the door of the store with her children. She recalled that the mother was actually dragging one of the kids behind her. To her best recollection, she remembered the child saying something like, "I want to see," to which the mother replied, "No, we need to leave now." Barbara wondered what all the commotion was about. She ultimately shrugged it off and continued into the store. She made the turn around some clothing racks and suddenly stopped dead. Standing before her was a male figure, wearing blue pants and a plaid shirt. He was bald and wrinkled and had strange bumps all over his grayish skin. Most startling of all, his eyes were very dark and almost almond-shaped. Barbara recognized instantly that whatever this was, it wasn't human. Not believing what she was seeing, Barbara did a double take, and in that brief second, the figure moved closer to her. Almost face to face with this thing now, Barbara noted that it appeared to be trying to smile at her. In her mind, Barbara attempted to make sense of what was happening. She thought momentarily that in fact it was a man, but he was just suffering some type of terrible condition or deformity. She quickly shifted her eyes away, then right back again. To her utter shock, in that brief moment it took to look away and back, the figure disappeared. Barbara looked around, but the figure was gone. It was simply not possible that he could have moved away in the time it took her to look away and look back. Panicky, she hurried to the cashier and asked if a security guard could be called. Although agitated, Barbara explained to the officer that she was looking for a man who had been in the men's department. The security guard proved to be quite gracious and even allowed her to view the tape with him, but there was no one to be seen in the area after she entered it. Barbara's husband rejoined her and insisted that they had to go. At this time, Barbara was quite disturbed by the encounter. They had been planning to view a movie at the theater in the mall that evening, so despite her wanting to go home, she agreed to go with him and watch the movie. Barbara spent the remainder of the evening looking around the theater, mall, and parking lot for the man, but she never saw him again. Patty A. Wilson, who covered this case in her book UFOs in Pennsylvania, claims that investigators who looked into the incident noted a UFO sighting had taken place near the mall at around the time of Barbara's encounter.